thought I'd give a little lesson on this classic gospel progression. I want to look a little deeper into what you can do with it, or how you can analyze it, or how you can bracket certain parts of it to have a deeper understanding of what the chords are doing, so that you can not just learn it on a one-dimensional level, but look at it a little deeper, so you can flesh it out in a more personal way. Also, it'll help your jazz playing, as well as any kind of playing, really. But this is a classic gospel progression. It's like this walk up from the 4 chord, so it's in E flat. Okay, this is from a tune called "I Need You, Lord." This is the end part, so it's in E flat. Here's the 4, A flat, and it walks up, sharp 4 diminished, and then it's got the 5 in the bass, but it's got a 1 chord, 1 over 5, and then it does a G over B, which leads to the C minor, which is a 6 chord, and then it comes back down, but it does this A flat minor over the flat 6, so it's like a minor 4 with the 3rd in the bass. So it's A flat minor over C flat, and then back to the 1 chord with the 5 in the bass again, and then down a half step to, this is a sharp 4 half diminished this time, and then a 4 chord, but it's really a 2 chord with a minor 3rd in the bass. So it's you can think of it as a 4 chord, like a 6, like an A flat 6, or you can think of it as an F minor over A flat. And then here's a true jazz chord, this B flat 13, the 5 chord, back to 1. So what I want to talk about is, instead of just disregarding these passing chords as mere passing chords, I want to include them in like a little chunk of tonality, and do something called bracketing. So bracketing is the practice of where you draw a bracket over one or more chord changes, and you just say, okay, this is in this key. And usually we do something that's kind of simple, like you will do it over 2-5-1. It's like, okay, that's in the key of whatever, C. But I'm looking for a deeper look at bracketing, and more like an excuse to play something that's not in the major key. Like you could, if you wanted to, play a bunch of E flat major, and maybe do some blues to get around the chromatic passing notes. But I want to look for any excuse I can, or more like permission, to play stuff that's not in the major scale, because I think those are where your ideas are a little more interesting. And so this diminished chord, I think of it as permission rather than an obstacle or a stumbling block. And so what I can do is I can take this chord, the 4 chord, and that diminished chord. And a good way to hear bracketing is use a looper pedal. So what I'm going to do is, I should back up. This diminished chord, it can be justified with this and this in the diminished scale. So that would be a half whole diminished, and that would be a diminished scale. Not necessarily the biggest fan of that. I kind of think this is a more preferred sound for me, bracketing this to this. So that would be A diminished to E flat over B flat. That's doing is that's turning that diminished chord, instead of a pure diminished scale sound, it's actually a 2 of G harmonic minor going to a 3 of harmonic minor, or really a 6 of harmonic minor with a 5 in the bass. I don't know if that makes sense. So A diminished to E flat is more like it's kind of this sound, the parallel diminished. Like Joe Beam uses it a lot. There's a lot of tunes in the 30s that use that, like Tin Pan Alley type jazz chords, jazz tunes. But let me put this and this in a looper and see what you think when it's like the diminished scale sound. So that would be, you know, so you can do stuff like this, you know. So that kind of has this a little bit sort of angular, you know, it's a symmetrical diminished sound. So I think maybe that's a little, I don't know, for me it's maybe a little harsh compared to this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bracket this diminished, A diminished, to E flat over B flat here. So now I'm in G harmonic minor, or really E flat, Lydian sharp 9. I mean, I kind of feel like this a little more, I don't know, maybe has a different vibe. Anyway, so moving on. So that was doing stuff with this. Either I can look back to the A flat and it's a diminished sound, or I can look forward and that's a E flat Lydian sharp 9 sound, or G. All right, now let me go to the next two chords. So I'm going to bracket. So I should actually draw a real bracket. Maybe I can focus the screen just a little more. So what I can do is I'm going to bracket the G over B to the C minor. So there's a real bracket. How about that? So G over B to C minor. That is, I think a good sound for that is let me just put it in the looper. I'm gonna play C harmonic minor over that. So it's like tension and resolution in C harmonic minor. Let me focus got a manual focus. Sometimes manual focus lens works better for focusing on the fingerboard, but yeah, you got to mess with it sometimes. There we go. So I find that to be much more compelling than just thinking of it as a passing chord to the 6, so staying in E flat. All right, that I like to include these passing chords in my analysis. So, all right, so then the next two chords, we have an A flat minor over C flat going to back to E flat. So we've got another E flat, okay? When it moved up, this one, it was a E flat Lydian sharp 9, which is the 6th mode of G harmonic minor. When it comes down, I like to use the fifth mode of melodic minor as the one chord. So E flat, Mixolydian flat six, or as Mick Goodrich says, Aeolian major, which I really like that term. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat six, flat seven, 1. So the flat six and the flat seven don't really sound good on the resolution, but they're in the sound. You know, you just maybe don't want to hang your hat on those notes when it hits E flat. So let me put those two chords in the looper. So we have E flat minor over B. I should say C flat. That's the correct term. It's because it's a minor third of A flat. Or I could just get around. If I don't want to say C flat, I could say G sharp minor over B, going to E flat minor. So E flat over B flat. Sorry. So now I'm in what would be A flat melodic minor. So I think it's a really pretty sound. What I might want to do, just to get more familiar with that movement, is I might put this G over B in C minor, going to this A flat minor over C flat, to E flat over B flat. Those four chords, I might put those in a looper to practice going from what would be C harmonic minor to A flat melodic minor. Notice how I'm not in just regular E flat yet. You could almost think of, so this A flat, there's a lot of coincidences when you're dealing with just 12 notes. You're going to get some tension and resolution that kind of reminds you of another tension and resolution. And I was just thinking, this B, this G over B, going to C minor, and then if I'm in the next two, that, right? So I'm in A flat melodic minor, which G altered is one of those sounds. So it's a G superloquiant, or G altered is a mode of A flat melodic minor. And now G altered is also, you can think of that as a 5 of C minor. So in a sense, there's a lot more glue than one might realize. So it's not just around E flat, but you can think they all relate to C minor as well. It's interesting. So let me, I might think I'm going to focus my energy towards resolving to C minor. So yeah, it's an interesting sound, and if I hit that C on the sort of 5 of melodic minor sound, that has a flat 6 in it, so it's kind of a wrong note. But anyway, there's ways of kind of weaseling out of these things. But anyway, I think that's really interesting. So, and then we have this sharp 4 half diminished. And if you remember, when we were walking up, when we had the fully diminished, and if I bracketed it with this chord, this E flat, it's the E flat is the 6th mode of G harmonic minor. Now G harmonic minor, if I voice the 2 as a tertian, which means stacked in thirds, it's going to be a half diminished, but it has a natural 6 in the sound, so I can play it like a fully diminished. The scale goes like this. So that works as well as that works. Okay. So on the 2 of a harmonic minor, you can play half diminished or fully diminished. So I just think that's maybe a little cross relative there. You know, it's like and then it goes to like a 2-5-1 or a 4-5-1, depending on how you think of it. The bass goes 4-5-1. So I can be in, you know, a more comfortable E flat at that point. So overall, from the top, we have kind of this G harmonic minor, and then C harmonic minor, A flat melodic minor, back to G harmonic minor, and then, and then regular E flat. Then you can go with some extra reharmonization. So if you're thinking of, like, you know, I'm in G harmonic minor there, so I can do some back to C harmonic. So if check this out. So if I think of the this whole progression as different flavors of E flat, we have a regular E flat, then this diminished E flat, 6 of harmonic minor, tension, resolution, and then the 3 of harmonic minor, tension, that's a major 7 sharp 5, going to the 6th chord, there's our C minor, and then I'll do this minor 4 to 1 E flat, so that's the Aeolian major E flat, and then I'm going to do a Lydian, because that's the A half diminished, and then I'll just do a regular, I don't know, like 1, regular 1. So again, if I did that in the looper pedal, would it sound like if I did blues over everything? So it kind of, either way it works. You can kind of use the blues as your glue with all these things, which is kind of like what I, sometimes it's hard to keep all these weird, exotic, not super exotic, but, different ways of thinking ready at hand. So sometimes just bluesing out comes naturally. But yeah, anyway, let's try it again. So I'm going to do, with all that in mind, I can flesh out each chord a little bit more if I sort of commit to a tonality that each one is going to be a part of. Does that make sense? So I'm going to, no, I did that. That's wrong. I didn't mean to do it. I'm going to do this. What's that? Okay. Okay. Yeah, bracketing. Sometimes it's cool to like do that. Bracket. Okay, bracket. So yeah.